Hello everyone and welcome to week 6 of the VVLS. I am currently the only undefeated coach at 5 wins and 0 losses. I'm continuing through my slew of absolutely terrifying opponents for my Mono Dragon team, the team which very famously only features dragon types. Did I even fix this Terra on Zygarde, by the way? I didn't. I need to. I'll look at that in a second. So, I do need to change this Terra on Zygarde. Oh my gosh, I never found a good alternative Terra for it because all the Terra options are bad. My opponent this week is, what do I even have as other Terras? I think maybe I'm going grass. Sorry. Yep. Yes, I've fixed up the text, so now you can see my matchup. So as you can see, I'm fighting against Mega Gengar, this Pokemon which appears to have been made legal by someone. I'm not going to say whether or not my opponent is one of the mods who is in charge of tiering and also had first pick Mega Gengar. But also, they've not necessarily been feeling great about their Mega Gengar this season. They've absolutely been having a good, successful season. They've got a good record so far. They've been playing well. They're 3-1. Now, one of those wins was from a forfeit win, which obviously limits the number of kill leaders that they're allowed to do, and they do still have another game which is out of time, and apparently they're also having some other difficulties in personal space, which may mean to lead to me having a particularly lengthy intro here, but yes. Grimmsnarl, Screens, bad. Wigglytuff, bad. I actually spent half this week preparing for a Alolan Raichu that they'd already traded out, I think like a couple weeks back, for Sandy Shocks. And then one of the people I was prepping, I was asking for prep advice, was like, yeah, there's a Sandy Shocks there. And I'm like, okay. So I really had to rethink and sort of restructure significant portions of my prep. But yeah, the big scaries, Mega Gengar, Grimmsnarl, and then Komodo is also a problem. Wigglytuff is like slightly annoying, Brute Bonnet's annoying, and then they've got like the strong Trick Room option there with Bronzong and Rhyperior. And then they've got the Sandy Shocks. Recently, when it wasn't a Alolan Raichu, I wasn't super worried about it. It's really just redirection, though it did mean that they've really got the fake out now down to just Torracat and Grimmsnarl. I'm not super concerned that Torracat is going to come. But, I'm always worried about everything. If you know me, you know that that's true. Yeah, Mega Gengar, I feel like I have to build a lot of my team around being able to put pressure into Mega Gengar, so I've done my best. And then, yeah, Komodo is a problem. Komodo is actually a real problem. It's got the ability Bulletproof, which means it can just beat me whenever, and it doesn't have to try, which is kind of annoying. It's immune to Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Energy Ball, a lot of moves that a number of my Pokemon have. Actually, maybe I should change to Giga Drain. It's not as good a move as Energy Ball, but it means that it can hit like a weird Terra on the Komodo, or a non-Terra on the Komodo. I'm gonna do that. Sorry, I'm doing that behind the screens. So now let's go back to looking at the actual game. So here we have Dragapult, who is dedicated lead here, except for if I don't feel like it should be, because I do also have an alternative dedicated lead option. So yes, Dragapult here, it's Lumberry for Thunderwave and Infiltrator for Screens, so hopefully it's not completely destroyed by Grimmsnarl. Ignore that Grimmsnarl has Sucker Punch, which is also a broken move, and it's reasonably good into my team. I have Dragon Tail here to deal Bronzong Trick Room, so if they don't go for Terra Fairy, and I don't miss, and they aren't redirecting with Brute Bonnet, then I can Dragon Tail out the Bronzong to prevent it setting Trick Room. If they are leading Brute Bonnet, I frankly will probably just Draco it. Yeah. Unfortunately, well, I guess I could pair it with an offensive poke. So I do have an offensive poke here. Here we have bulky, Tailwind, modest, not bulky, sorry, that's not the word, Covert Cloak, but they're Tailwind, Thunderbolt, Sludge Bomb, Naganadel here. Thunderbolt, Sludge Bomb is good into everything except for Bulletproof Komodo, which resists Thunderbolt and is immune to Sludge Bomb, but there isn't really a better poison move. I could run like Acid Spray, but it's not really helpful here. Actually, I don't even know, does it learn Acid Spray? It doesn't even learn Acid Spray. Ultra Beasts are not known for their wide move pools. They're pretty weird mons. All things considered. So yeah, I've got this here. This is really, like, it can lead with Dragapult in, like, some positions, but really it's meant to be an alternative to Dragapult, where it can slot in that slot. And the real Pokemon that the idea is I can lead next to Dragapult is Dondozo. This is a Choice Scarf Dondozo, so that with the Tatsugiri Commander boost, it will be faster than Sandy Shocks with a photosynthesis speed boost. Also, if I wasn't this fast, if I wasn't Scarf, I was still slower than Mega Gengar, so I had to be really, really fast. Now, unfortunately, I do have to go Terra Ground Earthquake to be able to threaten Mega Gengar through Reflect, which is, frankly, just crazy. Like, Grimmsnarl is such an oppressive Pokemon, because he could still fake me out, and then they click haze with Mega Gengar, and I just, like, lose. You know, that wouldn't be great for me. I wouldn't enjoy that. But that's what the idea is. I can lead it next to Dragapult, and the Dragapult is applying pressure onto the Gengar. But yeah, Terra Ground also makes me immune to Thunder Wave, so unless they're running the Scary Face version, which the Scary Face version I think is a little bit less good because I could be running Clear Body on Dragapult. I think that the Scary Face one is maybe a little bit less likely. But yeah, then I've got Body Press here to hit Brute Bonnet. I've got Heavy Slam to hit Grimmsnarl, and I've got Zen Headbutt to hit Komodo. I was super on the fence between Liquidation and Zen Headbutt in the last slot. The reality is, this mon is not... No, sorry. I decided to change it to Order Up. I completely forgot about that until this moment. I have Order Up because I can get attack boosts with the Tatsugiri, and since I'm already Scarfed, then that's great. Here, the sashes on Tatsugiri in this set, this enables it to sort of throw off Helping Hands, and it means that I'm not going to immediately lose because they, can get 2 KOs by knocking out a weakened Dondozo and then the Tatsu from full. That's sort of the dream there. I'm unaware, and because I do have the Choice Scarf, hopefully will help against my opponents if they're running, if there are a lot of Pokemon that can run the Mirror Herb and still not necessarily have an amazing position against a Tatsugiri. There's not really a lot of great Mirror Herb options. I think really it's just Komodo. Yeah, like I don't feel super worried about Chatot. Maybe I should be worried about Chatot, but yeah, I do have Unaware, so I can ignore their attack boosts into my defenses, and I can ignore their defense boosts into my attacks. But yeah, I don't necessarily super want to get locked into Body Press, because obviously that's bad into Gengar. But, you don't always have the option. I also would like to be Terra Grass, but I really need to lock Earthquake sometimes. Yeah. So then here we have, like I said, the Tatsugiri. Helping Hand support's pretty good here. I almost ran even more Helping Hand support than I wound up running. But yeah, doesn't have Scald. It has Hydro Pump, which is even less accurate than Muddy Water. But if I had Scald, I'd be running Scald here, because Water's fine. And Water's good into the Pokemon that are good into Dragon, which is the Grimmsnarl and the Wigglytuff. For some reason, I'd thought it learned Flash Cannon, but this mon just has an incredibly shallow move pool, and it doesn't even include Flash Cannon. But yeah, I thought it did, but it didn't, which is unfortunate. I thought about running Icy Wind as well, but I really feel like getting the damage of Draco, which is pretty important, into a Brute Bonnet if it does get to that position. And yeah, hopefully Being Sash is enough to help me into like a Trick Room Rhyperior position as well. But Dozo itself is fine into Rhyperior. Really depends what the Rhyperior's Terra is. And if they have some way to reduce my defenses. I actually don't know if between Bronzong and Rhyperior if they have a way to do it. Does Brute Bonnet learn? I'm just going to quickly cheat. This will be slightly off screen. I want to say cheat. / learn Brute Bonnet Clear Smog. I mistyped Smog. Brute Bonnet does learn Clear Smog. This is a broken Pokemon. How do they legalize it? Maybe I should need to be Terra Steel, but no, I need the damage from Earthquake. Yeah, so they've got haze options, which are like Gengar and Palafin, and then they've got the Clear Smog from Brute Bonnet. Of course it learns Clear Smog. Why would it not be broken? Every time except when I drafted it, when it was in singles, and not very good. But yeah, so I did literally just change, as you would have heard, but you wouldn't have seen. I straight up just moved the energy pool that I had on the Exeggutor to Giga Drain, because I just need something to hit, like a Terra Fairy. I guess I can Flamethrower it anyways. But yeah, I'm a bit worried about the Terra Fairy options for Komodo, just because it's immune to so much of my build. So I'd have to Terra Fire Flamethrower, really. But yeah, this is my option to get around Rage Powder, as well as be a Spore Switch in. And it's a Trick Room check with the Room Service drop. I'm slower than Bronzong. And that means that I can pressure Rhyperior, unless it is also Room Service, in which case I will cry. I have told my opponent that I will cry, and I plan on following that through. I have not told them about what specifically I might be crying about, because that would be giving away a bit too much, but yeah. Now, this last mon is very good offensively here, but very difficult to use effectively here, unfortunately. Maybe it's something I wind up leading with Dozo bluffing a Tatsu switch. But yeah, Dragon Dance, Skitter Smack, 1000 Arrows with the Earth Plate for the damage increase. It allows me to put a lot of pressure against my opponent's team. Terra Grass is bad because I'm worried about them clicking Ice Move. Oh, this is challenging. I was specifically worried about Terra Blast Ice Sandy Shocks, which I wasn't as worried about when it was Raichu, because Raichu doesn't have a speed boost. Well, it does, it's just much more difficult to set up. So the problem with water is that, yeah, I'm more worried about the Thunderbolt after a setup move, and I'm more worried about the Terra Blast. The idea is, like, if I Terra, and they, like, Terra Blast Ice me, or Earth Power, or whatever, and I Dragon Dance, they're still faster than me, which they used to not be still faster than me. With the Raichu. I don't think I can go Steel. I don't think I can go Psychic. Bug? Yeah, I guess it's Bug. It's not an amazing type, but I think it makes sense here. It covers a Body Press Bronzong. It takes Grass Move from Brute Bonnet. They have 2 Suckermons. It's really rude. Yeah, it takes Grass Move. They really only hit it super effectively with the Rhyperior, which is probably coming, and it makes my Zygarde struggle into it a lot more than it was with Terra Water. But, yeah, sort of is what it is. But yeah, Skitter Smack allows me to hit Brute Bonnet, and then everything else loses to ground. With the 1000 Arrows specifically, obviously Bronzong is good into other ground moves, but not good into 1000 Arrows. I can even have the Zygarde next to Dozo, and I don't know why it was about to... Oh yeah, I used to have a slower Dozo for where it was only running speed for Gengar, but now it has to run speed for the thing. It used to be that when I didn't have the +2 boost from Tatsu, I'd be able to 1000 Arrows first and then Earthquake to put extra damage into the Bronzong slot. But it won't do that anymore, unfortunately. I still think that the Dozo Zygarde lead is reasonable because it allows me to it's the one where I'm most likely to be able to set a Dragon Dance up with Zygarde, because they have to be worried about me switching in Tatsugiri into the Zygarde slot, and then attacks into it would fail. It's a very difficult matchup, and unfortunately my opponent's delay means that I'm waffling on a little bit longer than expected. But yeah, they could Parasol me. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm going to lose to Parasol. Okay, there we are. VVL versus Jace. Jace wants to battle. Good fun, have luck. No, I said good fun, have luck first. And they do not want me to. Good fun. And they don't want me to have luck. That's heartbreaking. You think you know someone? Okay, Mega Gengar goes no Komodo. Okay, that's good to know. No Bonnet. No Palafins, not surprising. Torracat did come. Sandy Shocks did not. Is this hard Trick Room? That's crazy. Okay, look at the Terras. Steel on the Grimmsnarl, so that's actually annoying for my Heavy Slam. Terra Dragon. Interesting. Terra Fairy, it's not that surprising if they're running like a competitive, maybe even offensive version. And then Terra Grass, Torracat. I don't really know what Terra Grass is for. I guess ground moves. Fair enough. Well, this makes the Zygarde lead feel like the option, right? The Dozo Zygarde lead. With, I'm going to say Tatsu. And I think this is Eggy in the back, which does leave me a little bit exposed to Gengar. But yeah, I've been bringing Scarf, like I brought Scarf Zygarde, I forget if it was last week or the week prior. I think last week. So hopefully the threat of Scarf Zygarde is enough to deter my opponent. Alright, so this is not our favorite lead matchup, but it is one of the lead matchups of all time. Okay, no, you are still slower than Bronzong. I kind of want to just 1000 Arrows and Earthquake. The Bronzong is Terra Fighting, which I don't think matters here. Do I think I can... If I Terra Ground, do we think that's doing something where it matters? I gotta turn off Levitate. I think I might need to Terra Ground Earthquake. No, we just don't think it is, and the reason we don't think it is because of the Grimmsnarl Reflect, right? Okay, interesting. That is that they sure did click Reflect that turn, huh? So they're heat proof. Interesting. Interesting. Do we think they're going to light screen this turn? What do we think they're going to do? Do I think I should have a Terra Bug the Zygarde? I think is one of the questions I have to answer. It looks like if I do go Terra Bug and they don't Terra the Bronzong, then I get a KO. And if they do Terra the Bronzong, I'm still okay. So I think I do go for the Terra Bug version of the play. There's also a Protect version of the play. I think I might have to go for the Protect version of the play. It covers for them trying to push damage into the Zygarde. They should know, at least that I'm adamant. I don't know if exactly they'll know that I'm Earthplate or Expert Belt Ace, but it could be blushing. No, they'll have the damage into Grimmsnarl as well. I think I might go for the Protect version of the play, because I am trying to steal Trick Room, right? I could switch Dozo into Eggy, but I don't really want to take a Spirit Break into Exeggutor at this turn. So I'm going to go for the Protect version of the play with Zygarde. It's unlikely the Grimmsnarl's fast, so they'll think I'm just speed invested on Dozo. They probably won't necessarily know that I'm Scarf. Hopefully. What's Dozo's max speed again? 95? Okay, if they are speed invested, they might find that out, but you gotta imagine on a Trick Room team, they're not too likely to be speed invested. So hopefully they don't realize that I'm Scarf. I think them learning that I'm Scarf this early would not be good for me. I wonder what they're thinking about. They might have Parting Shot on Grimmsnarl. That might be the delaying factor. They might be thinking about whether Iron Defense makes sense. Obviously, I do have Unaware on Dozo, so that might be one of the reasons why they are thinking about whether Iron Defense makes sense. I have no idea what they're thinking about, actually. Maybe they're wondering if it's worth risking Rhyperior in the back. It does have Solid Rock, which means that it doesn't take super effective damage from Earthquake. Obviously that would be annoying, especially if it has like a weakness policy or something. Maybe they're weighing up the Rhyperior switch versus getting a life screen up, considering they have 2 physical attackers in. Now, I have previously brought Storm Drain Tatsugiri, and they might be thinking that I am Storm Drain and I'm baiting about Commander. They just don't have any information on my speed besides Dozo being slower than Zygarde at this point. Maybe they're calculating to figure out my like adamant Earthblade spread. No, okay, I called the turn roll. Yeah, like I said, they might have Parting Shot. Oh, they got Frisk! Frisk is broken! I hate that move. I forgot Wiggly had Frisk. I hate that move so much. How dare they? Alright, I think I have to bring Tatsu in the Dozo slot. I have to switch Dozo out for sure. And I'm gonna go for the Terra Bug 1000 Arrows play. But I'm not sure what I'm switching Dozo into. I could switch Dozo into Exeggutor. It's bad if they go for like a Luring Voice. So is Tatsu. Tatsu's less bad though. Oh, sorry, Tatsu's worse. Which is the opposite of less bad. Alright, I think I do have to go with this version of the play. Life Orb! Alright, please don't Fairy move into my Pokemon. Okay, interesting. I may have made things worse for myself. I'm Giga Drain. No. Okay. They've got 2 Pokemon in the back, so which are probably Rhyperior and then Grimmsnarl, which we know it's Grimmsnarl. Gosh, Life Orb. How much is Life Orb Dazzling Gleam doing to Zygarde? Okay, Flamethrower. Moonblast? No, it doesn't learn Moonblast, but it does learn Alluring Voice. Barry, why? When did I drop the Wigglytuff? I don't know what X means in this context. Oh, I have Sleep Powder. I actually completely forgot I had Sleep Powder. They might be going for Fake Out here. I actually don't see a great reason not to double protect. Because it covers Fake Out and it stalls out their Trick Room. They're unlikely to have another Trick Room setter in the back. And I'll learn if they have Flamethrower as well. I could switch the Eggy, but I'd rather keep the -1 speed while I've got it. I have no idea what this Wigglytuff is going to be running. I'm glad I went for the Terra Bug though. I do feel like it's an okay position here. I don't think they are, you know, they could have Flamethrower, but to what? I have, what, 10 Fire Resists? 9 Fire Resists, sorry. Yeah, 9 Fire Resists. Goodra and Exeggutor are the only Pokemon on my team that don't resist fire. I just had to double check, make sure I was recording this screen and not the matchup one. That's the thing about developing new tech. Okay. What have we learned about the Grimmsnarl? I probably should be like checking stuff about the Grimmsnarl. So I hit it with 1000 Arrows turn 1. It took 24% through Reflect. Which it doesn't necessarily mean that it's Fizdef. Okay, I have no idea what you're going for. Parting Shot? Spirit Break. Okay, interesting. That kind of makes me want 1000 Arrows. I kind of Sleep Powder as well. I could switch into Dozo, because it's the last turn Trick Room. Alright, I think I switch into Dozo. And 1000 Arrows. I could D-Dance. But I think it's 1000 Arrows play. That was a knockout?! Oh, that's insane. I would not have expected that to be a knockout. Do we think Earthquake with the Dozo, with the Tatsu is enough? Wish I had Helping Hand. Used to have Helping Hand. Yeah, I would have double switched, frankly, into Tatsu if I knew that was gonna knock out. Okay, Reflect, Parting Shot, Spirit Break. Yeah, it was such a roulette trying to figure out what that one has. Yeah, I guess I can always Heavy Slam. A +2 though? Yeah, I guess Heavy Slam's always an alright lock. Even if it's not always a good lock. I think they might protect the Grimmsnarl if I go into Tatsu. I think I should go into Exeggutor first always. There's just no reason not to. We know that they are Light Clay and Light Orb because we've seen both of those items. But I think my play here might be to switch in, so to Heavy Slam the Wigglytuff and switch in Tatsu. Because I'm trying to play around... What if I just Earthquake though? We do think that 2 Earthquakes is enough to knock out Wigglytuff. So I think I have to go... I think it has to be the Earthquake version, because Heavy Slam just is very low base power into Rhyperior. There's no way they aren't going to go for Parting Shot here. Oh no, they didn't go for Parting Shot. I have no idea what they went for then. Spirit Break into the Tatsu slot. Okay, that obviously didn't quite work out in their favor. I mean, this turn surely they Parting Shot. I don't know if they have a single target like Alluring Voice. The good news is they didn't Alluring Voice on a turn where they would get a boost. Yeah, the -1 is bad, but they are Life Orb, which we'll see if they're also Weakness Policy, which could be bad. It's a crit! F. I have to Muddy Water, which is really annoying. I had the +2 Spit F. I have to hit Muddy Water now, which sucks. Into the Wigglytuff. I could protect. No, they're clicking Dazzling Gleam, which is guaranteed, yeah, to completely destroy. So I just need to hit Muddy Water, which really sucks. Going for Giga Drain into the Rhyperior means that there's just, like, they don't really get much. Okay, I have no way of winning. Oh, I'm faster than the Wiggly! Okay, this is why you run the speed the way that I did. Yeah, so the way that I ran speed in this matchup was my speed is for, so that at -1, I'm exactly 1 point slower than Bronzong, which means that at plus speed, like at neutral speed, then I have better... that means I can outspeed before and after Trick Room. It's one of the great things you can do with Room Service, which you don't have that opportunity with as many other options. Lumberry. Okay, GG. I gotta click I'm ready, otherwise it will give me a forfeit loss, but there's a lot to learn about that. Muddy Water did 78%. I don't know if that 78 actually tells us very much. It tells us they're not Solid Rock? No, it tells us they're not Max F. Yeah, okay. They're probably just Max HP, Max Attack then. 78 looks like it's right around a mineral into just max max HP. Okay, well this is good to know. This is good to know. I kept asking what did I learn about the Grimmsnarl and then not answering that question. I hit the Grimmsnarl again with an Earthquake from +2 Dozo. Right? This turn, I hit it with an Earthquake from +2 Dozo. I think when they meant it didn't matter, I think what they meant by that was that I won anyway. I think this means that they're fairly phys-def on the Grimmsnarl. The Grimmsnarl Bronzong lead last game. Mono Spirit Break. I could lead Dragon Ball. Oh, wait, they frisked. Did they? Sorry. Okay, they didn't get the chance to frisk my Tatsu, so they don't know whether my Dozo or Tatsu, or even Naga, a Sash. How do they adapt? How do I adapt? The two important questions. I think I honestly consider the Dragapult lead. The downside to the Dragapult lead... Spirit Break. How likely is Spirit Break to lethal? It's guaranteed not to. Okay, well that's good news, because that means I can always Dragon Tail the Dozo, the Bronzong at lead. I'm gonna try this version of the lead. I'll keep the same ones in the back. Yeah, okay, because this one covers for the covers for Grim lead. I think maybe my best option is to protect Pult and Heavy Slam Grimmsnarl here, playing around them, protecting Gengar, and going for a Spirit Break into Pult. Heavy Slam Grimmsnarl, I think I said. But if I didn't say it, I could just go Tatsu and Terra Ground Earthquake though, because this is literally the lead that was designed for. Especially when we know that they're heat proof on Bronzong. Okay, so what do they go for here? Spirit Break into the Dragapult slot? That does so much. Yep. Alright, I don't know if they have a great Earthquake switch in. I guess technically the best like would be able to bring in Torracat and Reflect. Then I won't get the Mega Gengar knockout. But they really need to Reflect that turn, I think. But like this was the play that I played around. This is why the Tatsugiri option is such a strong option here. I feel like I played this game on really well. Yeah, I wound up making it through even with Muddy Water because my EVs were very effective. Room Service does really just give you such the ability to adapt. I think I'm Eggy last, right? Yeah, I think so. Maybe instead of Diggy, I could have been Extreme Speed on Zygarde, and that would be good in positions like this where they don't have Reflect up, or you know, just in general to prevent them from getting. Okay, they did go with the Torracat in the back, which is what I said. Oh, if they Fake Out, that's really bad. but I think I'm still in a decent position because I was still able to get the damage into the Torracat. Fake Out plus Haze is the specific thing I'm thinking. Yeah. I guess they could Perish me? Perish would be the worst. Disable. Okay. GG. not GG, like actually GG's, but GG is in my Dozo here is very dead. That said, struggle damage is probably still fine. It's not great because they've got Reflect up, but struggle damage is probably still fine. I think struggle still hits. I need to put struggle in this slot. Oh, this doesn't have any set on it. It's probably something like this. What did I hit it before with Earthquake? So it looks like it's Fizz Def even. Yeah, it looks like I got a high roll into a Fizz Def one, or they might just have like a little bit less Fizz Def than this, maybe a bit more special defense, or maybe they might invest in one of their offensive stats, or maybe speed. There's a lot of stats they can invest in. I still have Dragapult in the back, which is good. I think if I'm able to remove Torracat, I'm not worried about Gengar. Oh, 12%. Right, yes, that was before the update. Okay, yeah, they've really been neutering me. Okay. They know that I'm Sash now. Is this the worst position that it could have been? It's possible this is the worst position it could have been. Disable was a really good bring, because it covers my Scarfers really effectively, and I've been using Scarfs a lot. It's been one of the ways that I've been able to eke out advantages. But I feel like if they can't break the Tatsu Sash on the turn they knock out Dozo, then I am in a really good position. Which I think means they should be, like, not going for damage. They should Nasty Plot, and then I don't know if you have another relevant move. But if you do, you should be going for it as well. What was the Grim Terra? Steel. Yeah, Steel obviously is not as good into Earthquake spam. If I had Zygarde in the back, it'd be an option. I don't have anything into Wigglytuff on Dragapult. I wish I had Naga in the back then. The Exeggutor is not feeling like the greatest Mondo we've had in the back. But it is still faster than Wigglytuff, and it does have Sleep Powder, which is a nice option. I don't know why my opponent is taking so long. Are they worried about disable turns? Maybe I should be thinking about disable turns? 4 turns, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna die if they do any damage to me. I actually think it might not even count this turn. Okay, that doesn't matter. Really, it's the chip into the other one. Okay. Do they go for the Dazzling? No, they go for the good play. Oh, they're even gonna get the KO into Tatsugiri this turn. Oh yeah, okay, that's a very well played from them. I didn't even have the exact maths. Struggle is such a punishing move. I miss old gen Struggle when it was based on how much damage you did with Struggle. And the fact you can't target it either. I lied. They did not do what I said they were doing. I think I need to Dragapult Protect. Just because I don't have anything for Wigglytuff on Dragapult. If I did, I would be going for it. But I think I have to bring it out in Sleep Powder, which is obviously not amazing. Even if you learned Roar. No, if you learned Roar, it wouldn't help anything. I assume you're going to Dazzling Gleam here, but I'm playing around Protect play, which is definitely an option. Yeah, I don't have anything that hits Wigglytuff on Dragapult, unfortunately. Which I think means I do need to play for Sleep Powder. Yeah, it was one of the big problems with Dragon Tail, you know? Alright, so let's see what they went for. They went for Protect, and do I get the accuracy drop? No. I did a lot of damage there. I feel I was Energy Ball. I'd actually feel really comfortable about Energy Ball getting a knockout. And maybe I should feel comfortable about Giga Drain. So if they're this, okay, it looks like I should feel comfortable about Giga Drain. I don't think they can switch here. Like, I don't think Torracat achieves enough for them, because I can always protect on the protect turns. On the fake out turns. Protect is such a broken move. When will they, like, balance it better? The second protect should always fail. That in my view, is the first nerf I'm making. If I ever get in charge of Pokemon, first nerf I'm doing, double protect always fail. I probably would remove the interaction with Wide Guard, but maybe not. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I just don't think this does enough because I can always double protect on the fake out. Which I think they know. I think I've... No, I haven't protected with Dragapult. No, I have. I protected turn 1. Yeah, so I think I just always win. Because I can always Giga Drain the Wigglytuff and I can always Shadow Ball the Torracat. And I find it very unlikely that with that much Fist F it would live a Shadow Ball, yeah. In fact, I can now Shadow Ball the Wigglytuff, but it doesn't look as reliable as the Giga Drain version of the play, so I'll go for the Giga Drain version of the play. Mega Throw? No, it doesn't change my play. I don't think that was a throw. I understand that they're concerned, like the idea. I don't think they had to Terra Fairy. I do think that that's true. Actually, what's the Torracat's Terra? Did it matter? No, Grass. No. If the Torracat Terra mattered, then it would have mattered. I wish I had brought Energy Ball instead of Giga Drain, but I didn't. That's it. I think I win. And if they win, it's because the Wigglytuff does enough, right? Why is there Dragon Ball that's 100 base attack, you're 125, and you're modest. Okay. Let's go back. So I'm Giga Draining the Wigglytuff, and I'm Shadow Balling the Torracat. Interesting play. Yeah, the Terra Fairy didn't really matter. It didn't help, but it didn't matter too much, at least. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's, like, I think the similar vein of how Mega Gengar was oppressive on my prep. Dondozo was very oppressive on their prep. They had to put a lot of prep around trying to check Mega Dozo. So, I'm very happy to, GG's. GG's. Gosh, 6-0. 6-0 Mono Dragon against a double fairy team as well, with the Bronzong as well. And the Mega Gengar, which was seemingly Mono Fairy. Hopefully I've sent them my paste. Hopefully I get the chance to look at their paste. The Rhyperior? Yeah, max HP on there. No, 108 Spit F. Okay. I think that's even less bulky than... I don't remember how much health was that. 42? Yeah, so Giga Drain was always picking up there. I was so scared. So scared of everyone you had. I didn't get the opportunity to, did I even? I think I did Commander, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I got to Dozo finally. So I think this is probably like a Dozo thumbnail. I've had to scour the internet, finding a single place where there's an animated Dozo in the entirety of thing, and it was in that Worlds 2024 ad. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching. Yeah, Jace's team, I think we did really wind up seeing a lot of it. Encore Disable, just it's a bit memey set, right? Especially when you're running such an offensive build. Okay, attack invested. Yeah, I did think it wasn't like max defense, but it was very heavily defense invested. I don't think this Rhyperior set is amazing. It's really just playing around Wisp, right? Yeah, heat proof. Didn't wind up mattering because I did have the 1000 arrows to smack down, but I never hit it with a fire move. But if I did, that would have been cool. The Terra Fairy. This was a really good Wigglytuff, right? the main problem that they had was that I was able to, like I had good enough prep to stall out Trick Room game 1, and I think I wound up like taking a KO in Trick Room as well. But yeah, being able to stall out Trick Room and then have the Dozo in, even though did I even switch the Dozo that set? Yeah, I did. I switched in Exeggutor, but like, yeah, I was just able to really position very offensively. When did they get the second plot? So they're saying the second plot wasn't effective. I don't even remember what the second plot was. This turn? Yeah, they could have knocked out the Tatsugiri, and then that would have meant that I needed to force more damage into the Wigglytuff to get it knocked out. I think it did matter. No, it didn't. It didn't matter into Exeggutor, and it wouldn't have mattered to Dragapult. Did they learn my Lumberry with Frisk? No. They didn't wind up being able to get a lot of Frisk value because they had set up, whereas my Exeggutor was able to get a good bit of value with Frisk. I think I frisked all 4 items that first game. Cassie Berry, that's the Ghost Berry. So it's a good thing I didn't Shadow Ball. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'm really glad to be 6-0, especially into a very crazy team against an opponent I really respect like Jason, the Gholden Goats. Goodbye.